This weekend, March the 29th, in Cancun, Mexico, we have a rematch between Tevin Farmer and William Zepeda, the lightweight WBC interim champion. Why is this happening? Why is this rematch going on? Was Tevin Farmer that good in his loss where he needs a rematch because it was so close? Or maybe was Tevin Farmer that good in the first fight where they needed a rematch because Tevin Farmer was robbed or something like that? Was that the general consensus? Tevin Farmer was robbed. He dropped William Zepeda in the fourth round. He was robbed. Is this the general consensus? No. The general consensus is William Zepeda executed a shutout. He won most of the rounds, if not all. Well, the fact that he had the flash knockdown because he walked onto a shot without really calculating what was going on at the time doesn't really amount to much because he jumped up and went straight back to work and still dominated that round. So even if that was a 10-9 round or a 10-8 round because of the knockdown, I don't think it was a 10-8 round because he got up and still dominated the same round. So it would probably, I would say they should have given it 10-9 to Tevin Farmer. But let's just say they gave it 10-8 to Tevin Farmer. He lost at least 8 rounds in a 12-round contest. He got maybe a 10-8 round, but he lost 8 rounds. That's definitely a loss. There was domination in that fight by William Zepeda. So why is he giving him a rematch? Well, I believe it's one of two things, or maybe both. One, Tevin Farmer after the fight was complaining or making it aware to everybody that was interviewing him that
It's multiple reasons why I wanted to press a rematch, right? It's two main reasons. Not only because the world thought I won, but we didn't get tested for the fight. So I'm gonna give a little rundown real quick, brief. I'm in the locker room and I had to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, this is championship level. So we get tested every time. And if you fight for the WBC, it's mandatory as well. So I'm about to go to the bathroom, so I stopped the person. I'm like, yo, you want me to do a drug test before I go pee? I'm not gonna be able to do it again. So I waited for like 5 minutes, and they're like, after the fight. So after the fight happens, and I'm not throwing nobody under the blood. I'm not claiming that nobody was on nothing. I'm just telling you what happened. This is another reason why, because in this sport you never know. So do it after the fight. I go get something to eat, and I realize that we still ain't get drug tested. So I go back in the venue, back to the locker room, was like, yo, I talked to some important people. I don't really care to say their name because it is what it is. And I'm like, what's up with this drug test? Like, don't we get drug tests? They made excuses, so we wasn't drug tested. And the other fights on this card, the championship fights, was all drug tested.
Leading to accusations or leading to some sort of thought process that William Zepeda may have been on some performance-enhancing drugs. That's an assumption. But for the fact that there weren't no VADA testing in a fight that had contracted VADA testing, he was asking the question. So, when the question wasn't answered, I believe Golden Boy, to appease Tevin Farmer, said, all right, come on, let's have a rematch. You can have a rematch, you can fight him again. Try again. See if you beat him this time. Which I don't think he will, but time will tell. I see Tevin Farmer as a happy shopper Shakur Stevenson, who William Zepeda is supposed to be fighting. I believe personally that William Zepeda believes that he needs more practice before he goes up there to fight Shakur Stevenson, because he doesn't believe in himself, or Golden Boy doesn't believe in him. Which leads me on to my other reason why this fight is happening. He is trying to avoid his mandatory. It's not even his mandatory. He is the mandatory. He's supposed to be gunning for this fight against Shakur Stevenson. But it seems like he's sidestepping him. Him and Golden Boy, him and Oscar De La Hoya are sidestepping Shakur Stevenson for some reason. Clearly trying to avoid him. Don't know why. It doesn't seem to make sense to me, because at the end of the day, William Zepeda, for me, has the type of style that should give Shakur Stevenson all types of problems. So in this rematch, he may even go and push for the knockout, because in the first fight, he believed that he had a hand injury. He went and had the surgery on the hand, and now obviously he's feeling better now, and he wants to have this fight to prove that he can deal with the likes of Tevin Farmer by way of knockout. So that's what I'm expecting him to do in this rematch. Push the action and look for the knockout. That being said, pushing the action, looking for the knockout, is leading him to be able to be knocked out himself. Tevin Farmer isn't necessarily heavy-handed, but in his last fight with William Zepeda, he did manage to drop him in that fourth round. So that is something that he can look to. And if he can build on that, then he should have some success. But these are the type of fights and rematch situations that get on my nerves, that make me say boxing's getting on my nerves. Because this ain't supposed to be happening. You're supposed to be fighting Shakur Stevenson right now, William Zepeda. It was you that's supposed to have fought Shakur Stevenson instead of Josh Padley, who was a late replacement for Floyd Schofield, who was stepping in for you, who was talking about having hand surgery, yet a month later you're okay to fight. So your hand has healed in a month. That's ridiculous. I don't believe a word of it. You supposed to have fought Shakur and dealt with this whole interim rubbish. You didn't fight him. You're fighting Tevin Farmer again. Hopefully you lose, in my opinion. But then that would lead to Tevin Farmer now being interim, and then him versus Shakur Stevenson isn't the most exciting fight, in all honesty. So really and truly, William Zepeda needs to defend this interim status so that he can then go on to have the fight with Shakur Stevenson, which I believe will be more exciting than against Tevin Farmer. Because William Zepeda is a come-forward pressure fighter who wants to push the action. Push the action, try to get Tevin Farmer out of there. This should be an exciting fight on the weekend. I believe that William Zepeda should win the rematch. But what adjustments can he make other than throwing more punches to get this guy out of there and take it out of the judges' hands? I believe the hand injury might have held him back. There might have been some truth to him having some sort of, discomfort in his hand where he couldn't really put his punches together to get him out of there. And with the surgery being done and him being able to fight again, having this rematch against Tevin Farmer, maybe he's here to prove that his hand is better and he puts on a better performance and stops Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer is a very good fighter defensively, but he does like to stay in the pocket, which then can lead to him getting hurt in there, which doesn't happen often. It's just that the fight he had before William Zepeda, a unanimous decision loss to Raymond Moratalia, he was getting hurt in there. It was a very entertaining fight, but he was getting hurt in there to the point where he was excessively holding. Tevin Farmer does not like to touch the canvas, so when the pressure was put on him by Raymond Moratalia, he was holding to the point where he was deducted a point by the ref in the 8th round. He's a battle-tested fighter, but that means that he's had a lot of battles, which could also mean that he's war-torn. Wear and tear is one of those things that creep up on fighters, and this may be his time to bow out. But at the same time, wear and tear can toughen a fighter, and this could be his moment of triumph. It's very 50-50 for me. I'm not sure what I really think is going to happen. So realistically, William Zepeda should actually win this fight, and he should push for the knockout. His adjustment is showing us that his hand is healed and he can put more punches together to get the stoppage. Accuracy is needed, because if he keeps on hitting the guards, such as the elbow and such like, he might damage his hand again. Who knows? It's going to be an exciting fight to watch though, even though it's a rematch. I do believe it will be exciting. William Zepeda probably thinks he has something to prove due to the fact that he got dropped in the last fight, even though he won. And he's fighting on home soil, so he wants to impress. To be fair to you, the judges will give it to him again if it goes the distance and it's close. But before it went the distance and it wasn't close. So really and truly, the onus is on Tevin Farmer to make the adjustments to get the win, because obviously what he done before wasn't even close enough for him to get a close decision. Time will tell. I'm looking forward to this fight, and I'll see you guys in the next video.